is Shaq doing this just for entertainment purposes, or does he really have an issue with Dwight? Because at this point, it's like Dwight's no longer in the NBA. Shaq has had a Hall of Fame career. Dwight's gonna be in the Hall of Fame as well. You know, they're polar opposites in regards to how they played the game, but it's like
it feels a little bit more personal from Shaq.
Yeah,
he is an LA fan.
Yo, Beth, that shit crazy.
On a Saturday, welcome to the All Even Podcast. I am Mr. All Even himself, Barry Grant Jr. You can catch the show on Megaphone, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. I'm all over the place, man. Catch me on Twitter, @All Even Podcast, Instagram, @All Even Podcast. I'm on TikTok as well, if you want to get on there. Jimmy, the super intern. What's up, my man? Chilling? Nicole on the ones and twos, the silent assassin is what I call her. What's going on? Oh, we got my man Six in the building.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, of course, man. Listen, you know.
They're telling me not to quit my day job. I don't know.
Listen, man, I had to get you back, man. You know, we had a great pod last week. So, you know, plenty of more topics to discuss, obviously.
Definitely.
You know, we got the Thanksgiving games that we
Those
got to
were
talk
fun.
about.
Those were fun.
Very good games. You know, I want to get your takes on that. Our MyBookie pick of the week, right? You know, mine went off the rails last week, obviously, and you warned me too, but I don't care. I got another one. I got another one this week.
You didn't pick Houston. So.
Yeah. I'm gonna talk about Aaron Rodgers.
My guy
with his thumb issue.
Yeah.
You know, all of a sudden now he got a broken thumb, so we got to talk about that. Deion Sanders getting D1 looks, but there's some backlash about that. There's some
they always give my man
drawback.
some friction, man. They're always giving him pushback, but
right.
I love what he did at Jacksonville State, so I believe in him.
Definitely. Jets benching Zach Wilson, and we got to talk about that.
It needed to happen.
Yep. Dwight Howard claps back at Shaq for saying some comments about him playing in Taiwan.
Yo, Shaq been a hater, bro.
Yeah, wow.
I like that Dwight's clapping back.
Yeah. Pat Bev gets suspended.
Yeah, well, listen.
Yeah, we got to talk about that. I got a Clippers thing that we want to discuss. It's you know, people always get on me about dogging the Clippers. You know, I ain't gonna try to dog on them today.
They nicknamed him Clip City, Chip City for a minute with no chips to show.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, right? Then we're gonna talk a little baseball. Obviously, you know, you're a big Yankee fan, so we gotta talk about the Aaron Judge watch.
Man,
what's going on with Aaron Judge?
Judge watch.
Yeah,
2022. And
then the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week.
Dummy, yeah.
So before I get into anything, obviously, how was your Thanksgiving, everybody?
It was great, man.
Yeah.
Didn't get to spend it with family, but I got to spend it with friends. Well, I like family, so it was pretty dope.
Okay, so you just abandoned your family on Thanksgiving?
Nah. Listen, people got to work sometimes. We're going to do it up for Christmas.
Okay.
But Thanksgiving, I had to take an L this year.
I hear you. Jimmy, how was your Thanksgiving?
No complaints.
Yeah?
Good time.
Did you cook?
I don't cook.
You don't cook anything? What's wrong with you?
Clueless.
You got to be able to cook something.
I can make a good pizza.
You mean what? Good stovetop pizza that's already frozen and you can just put it in the oven?
No, cheese and everything.
Oh,
okay.
So that's something. You know what I mean? I can't do that. So props to you.
I could make Lunchables pizza.
Facts.
I'm on
Facts.
that all day.
You know what I mean? Nicole, what about you? Did you cook on Thanksgiving?
No, I'm going to do some cooking for Christmas Eve.
Nice. What are you planning on cooking on Christmas Eve?
There's like this thing I saw on TikTok, this brownie thing. There's like some cookie butter and Nutella in it.
Oh.
So I'll try that out.
She told me, you know, off camera that she's going to put weed in it.
So I definitely going to need one of those.
She'll get everybody high
I'm
for Christmas
definitely gonna need one
Eve.
of
She told me that. Yeah, my Thanksgiving was cool, man. You know, we had you know, in-laws over. You know, Jasmine had her mother over, sister,
nice.
cousin, and she
Threw
cooked
down?
her ass off.
Well, I'm about to find out because I was collecting plates
listen,
like Thanos was collecting
oxtail,
rings, so definitely got to get one from you.
Yeah, I had a nice Jamaican Thanksgiving. I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? It was nice.
All right.
You know, I didn't have to go anywhere for that. Stay in the house. You know what I mean? So I was very, very happy, and she got a 10 out of 10. I ain't gonna lie.
Nice.
10 out of 10. You know, I helped too. You know, I did help.
Standing in the corner directing traffic.
No. I cleaned the house. Okay. That's important. I cleaned the house. And I asked questions, hey, what do you need from me? See, this is how you know that you're like a supportive man. What do you need from me, right? I'm just gonna sit there and do nothing, right? Because you can get some looks if you're just there, right? Saying that you taking care of the kid. No. I gotta make sure I'm involved, right? I do that. So yeah, but you know, I'm glad that everybody's Thanksgiving was good. And did you hear about this whole AMA backlash with the Michael Jackson tribute?
Yeah, I didn't really like that. I didn't like how they handled that at all. I think that's not cool at all.
It's foul.
That's very foul.
Like my thing is right. When they brokered the idea, nobody said nothing.
Yeah,
but then you want to cancel it.
And it's
a
not
day
like Chris
before
got in trouble or did anything or tweeted anything. Like, had something happen, I would understand. But to just pull the plug just because, and then to come out with that explanation.
Right.
Like, that's just like a slap in the face.
At the end of the day, like, I think that they did it because of the whole MJ documentary that came out, the whole scandal. Like, it's like, okay, that people think that he's whatever, right? At the end of the day, bro, this man's probably the greatest performer to ever walk the planet.
I mean, he's passed away for a while. Sometimes I gotta let those things. But also, what was the point of the rehearsals and the announcement of you even doing it if this is how you feel?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, somebody up the chain had to approve it to begin with. You feel what I'm saying? So for it to get to that point where you're canceling it a day before, it's garbage.
Yeah, for real.
It's complete garbage.
And they called him a serial domestic abuser. I think they're confusing him with Trey Songz.
Bro, just I don't
nuts,
know,
bro, nuts.
I don't understand. And I ain't gonna lie to you too. Nicole was right about the whole Twitter thing.
Oh yeah,
she was right. Yo, Elon Musk got Twitter.
Yeah, in shambles.
It's in shambles, bro.
It's crazy. I haven't started. I started feeling the effects. It hasn't gotten to me yet. Yeah, but I can see. Well, you got to understand. Once the corporations and the advertisers dip, it's not going to be what it once was.
Bro, everybody got a blue check.
Yeah, and you see what they're doing.
Yeah,
they're tanking some economies. They put out
they've manipulated the stock market because they're impersonating other people with blue checks, tweeting things, and then it's affecting the market. Like, how did he not know that this was not going to happen?
That's supposed to be a genius, and I mean, part of the blue checks was the exclusivity, of they actually verified you
that
were who
I
you
know
were.
That this person is legit and real. I cannot, I cannot duplicate your page because I don't have a blue check.
Exactly. So I don't know how that's going to work because when Twitter first came about, I only found out about it because it was just like a switch hit. Yeah. And every news outlet and TV channel, everything was tweeting. So to have those people drop out of the race, I don't know what he's thinking. I mean, you pay $44 billion for something and then just to set it on fire, like that's a $44 billion bonfire. That's crazy. So hopefully he comes to his senses, or I don't know what's going on. Because Twitter, I mean, I don't use it as much. Like I said, it doesn't affect me as much. I've seen some of the effects, but like it's a big platform, and we've really gotten used to it. So
you think something else will rise up over Twitter?
There's always going to be something new, but everything had its use case. Yeah, Facebook is still there, even if it's not just for the passwords in the groups. Instagram for the pictures. Twitter just to get your 140 characters off. TikTok for whatever the new dance craze is. Everything has. Snapchat for illicit activities. So everything has its use. So I don't know if when Twitter goes away, like, are we ever gonna have a medium like that again? So I'm really hoping they don't mess that up.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I'm just disappointed because, You spent $44 billion to buy it.
Yeah.
You fire everybody.
He's trying to get him back because he messed up. You can't fire everybody at a place
because
they
they're
are
the ones,
Twitter.
That's what I'm saying. They're the ones that made it $44 billion in regards to an evaluation.
Exactly.
They're the face of it, right? Like they are the creators and they put up the content. They keep everything.
They know the ins and outs.
They know the ins and outs. You know what I'm saying? They don't allow the shit to crash.
Exactly.
Like you can't fire them.
One of the guys on his way out disabled Elon Musk account.
Wow.
Took him hours to get it back because like no one's willing to help. Like
right.
Twitter really is gonna collapse on himself if he's going the way that he's going. Just because you're not gonna like the new techs are very, very smart people, but
right.
like it's like trying to read something you wrote in your handwriting to a certain degree. Like if you write crazy, sloppy, or whatever your programming style is, I'm just never gonna get it because it's so personal to you.
Nah, it's 100%.
It has nothing to do with how smart I am.
Yeah.
It's that type of thing. So let's see what happens.
Yeah. It's gonna be funny when reality hits. He bought it for $44 billion.
They forced his hand too, which was hilarious.
Yes, because remember he put it out there. Hey, I bought Twitter, and then he had second guessed it, right?
Yeah.
So then he was like, "Listen, fam, you already put this out there.
Yeah.
If you back out now, we gonna sue the hell out of you. So you better buy it,
Yeah.
right? Got no choice now.
Promotion.
Yeah, got no choice now. But what I'm saying is that it's gonna be very funny the fact that he bought it for $44 billion, and it's gonna be worth $6.
Yeah. Yo, he's happy it's not on the exchange market right now. It'd be like $2.
Yo, it's crazy.
It'd be nuts.
It's disaster, bro.
So,
I ain't gonna lie, I'll buy it when it's low. Because when somebody takes it, yeah, we gonna make some money here on All Even Podcast. We're gonna go on vacation, guys. All right, Saudi Arabia on me. Right?
Dubai.
Yeah, we go to Dubai. But yeah, let's get into these Thanksgiving games.
They were good, man.
Very, very, very good.
I thought it was gonna be a boring slate, but they gave it to us early. Detroit doing Detroit things,
right.
Keeping in the game till the last minute.
Yeah, what do you think about that? The Lions, going neck and neck with the Buffalo Bills.
They've been going neck and neck with a lot of people, bro.
Yeah.
The Lions are frisky. The defense has been the thing that's
Very
been holding them back.
The
offense, I feel like, can put up points with almost anyone.
Yeah.
But it's really the defense is just leaky, and especially in key situations. That's the worst part of it. It's like no matter how much you are down to the Lions, in key situations, you can get back and score, which is what Buffalo was able to do.
And I agree.
Very exciting game. The Lions have been in a lot of games. They've been fun. They got to learn how to close these things out. And I mean, I don't know, man. I like everything I see from the team, but they really got to build around DeAndre Swift because they don't really have receivers like that. Amon-Ra St. Brown is cool.
Oh, he's the man.
He's the man, but I just feel like he's not someone you can count on just yet. Give him one more year. Give him one more year in the system, and he could be like a true number one. But I think this is a team that needs to build around the running back. I don't know if you need to run out and go get a quarterback right now, but I mean, their record's be so low. Yeah. They're going to have top picks, so they're going to have to make that move. They're a fun team, man. They haven't won a lot of games, but they're a good watch.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they're trending in the right direction for the first time in a long time. I think that they're trending in the right direction for the first time since Jim Caldwell.
Yeah.
So that's a bright spot for them. I do believe that they need to move on from Jared Goff. I call him Jamie Lee Curtis, but he definitely needs to. They have to find somebody who's young, who they can be able to build around.
Yeah.
Like if you want to keep Goff as a backup, there's nothing wrong with that. He's a very serviceable quarterback. I think, going forward, he will be a backup quarterback going forward in his career. So that's not a knock for him, but I think his starting days need to be over. If they can be able to find the right quarterback, obviously. They're not utilizing DeAndre Swift as I thought, but obviously he's had some injury concerns. Jamal Williams has been really good for them.
Yeah.
He's a touchdown machine. But my issue was not with the Lions. I think that, like I said, they're trending in the right direction. My issue is with the Bills.
They've been doing this a lot.
The Bills, over the last
3 weeks,
I want to say 3 or 4 weeks, they've looked very shaky.
Very shaky.
Josh Allen, I think he leads the league in interceptions.
He's very Brett Favre-ish.
Yeah, he's second in the league in touchdowns, but when you lead the league in interceptions, that says a lot.
Yeah.
Especially when you have, you know, an otherworldly receiver like Stephon Diggs. You know, I think he still takes too many chances, and I think the reason why that is because they rely so heavily on him to do everything, because he's basically their rushing attack.
Yeah.
He's basically, you know, their guy at the line of scrimmage. Everything relies on Josh Allen, and they have to do something. This running game has been bad for years. Yeah. It's like, I'm shocked that they didn't really try to get a home run hitter at the deadline. I know they got Nyheim Hines, but he's another small back, just like Devin Singletary, just like the guys that they already have there. So I think going into the draft this season, or even in free agency, they have to address the running back situation. They need to go get themselves a bell cow. They have to.
Yeah, Josh Allen has too much on his plate, but at the same time, I'm not going to shit on the running game because Singletary can get between the tackles and give you something. It's the coaching staff; they got to rein him in every once in a while. They gotta keep him from hurting himself, because those interceptions are costly.
Yeah, he throws some bad interceptions.
But then sometimes they're like, that should have been a running play. Yeah, that should have been an inside play. Why are you at the goal line taking 7-step drops? Yeah. I mean, that's when they had the interception last week. Yes. Like, those are things I feel like the coach should be helping you out. I understand you have, like, a super player in Josh Allen, but he's a gunslinger. And gunslingers, you got to save them from themselves. And, like, we like to throw the word gunslinger around. It's been like Brett Favre, the true gunslingers, Brett Favre, Tony Romo, now this kid. Yeah. And those are guys you got to save from themselves. Right. So, I mean, he's a young guy. He's going to get better, but I think the coaching staff needs to kind of rein him in. And even though you don't have the best run games, it's okay to take the ball out of Josh Allen's hands every once in a while.
Well, I think I agree with you.
At the end of games, you shouldn't be throwing. You shouldn't be throwing in the red zone when you're up with 2 touchdowns. I mean, like that's when you kind of try to salt the game away.
I think it's hard for them because I think they think that if they try to rein him in too much, that he's not himself, right? Like, the reason why he is so good is because he takes these chances, is that he has the cannon to be able to throw into extremely tight windows, right? So taking that away from him may be a detriment, right? Mm-hmm. So I get you. But it's a fine line that I think the coaching staff runs.
Look at Patrick Mahomes in KC. Yeah. He has the green light go. Yeah. But he throws an interception or he throws a bad ball and he's walking on him. Yeah. And you see it right there on the side. What were you thinking? Yeah. Gotta get rid of the ball. Stop being flat. He'll let him know right then and there. So, I mean, at least the coaches got to put a little bit more accountability. But like I said, I think he's a young player. I think he's a gunslinger. He's going to be in the league. He's going to be doing amazing things for a long time. Yeah. But if every year now he's getting to these 3-4 game slumps, and I think it's really up to the coaches to kind of help him get out of that.
And also, too, they can't stop the run.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of teams' problem this year.
And Von Miller going down is a problem. Help at all. It's a big problem.
And it's not an ACL.
No, it's an MCL. Yeah, but I mean, it's still
MCL. He can come back in 3 or 4 weeks, but it's not going to be the same Von.
Yeah. So they have some concerns going forward, but they found a way to win that game, and they are at this point. What are they? They're 9-3. Yeah. So no, 8-3. So next game we had,
I know you're happy, man.
Gonna brag a little bit.
Yeah, that was a good game.
Brag a little bit, Nicole. I'm sorry. The Dallas Cowboys. We beat those Giants 28-20. It wasn't even that close, but I'm not gonna dog Dak. I would say it was an uneven performance. We had the Dallas Cowboy team that showed up against the Green Bay Packers in the first half. Mm-hmm. Second half of the game, it was the team that played the Minnesota Vikings last week. Right? So Dak cleaned it up. He had the rapport in the second half with CeeDee Lamb, and they did their thing. Micah Parsons, dominant as usual. That defense was all over the place. Zeke had his best game of the season. Michael Gallup had his best game of the season. But the penalties, Jeff.
Yeah, it's gonna.
The penalties are still there.
That's
13 penalties. You know, they had one of the most dreadful halves I've ever seen with a team that's defense is poor right now. They have a ton of injuries. They had no cornerbacks, and they still were ended up getting 2 interceptions. Like, that's my thing with Dak Prescott, Six, is that he will make some throws that you'll look at it and be like, how is he an NFL player? And then he'll make some throws that be like, that's why he's a $40 million guy, right? And that's why I tell people that he's the definition of average, right? You're going to have your great games. You're going to have your bad games. You're going to have your great quarters. You're going to have your really bad quarters. I don't think that you can be able to consistently win that way, because you're not always going to have teams like the Giants that don't really have much right now, that they're playing on straight effort, great coaching by Brian Dable. But if you're playing a team like the Tampa Bay Bucks and they have Tom Brady on the other side, those mistakes you probably don't come back from. You play a team like Kansas City, those mistakes you don't come back from, because if you give the ball up twice, they're going to capitalize on those interceptions. They're going to score. You're going to be down 2 or 3 scores going into halftime, and now you have to throw the ball more. And every time that Dak throws the ball more than usual, it's going to be a problem for the offense. So my thing is that great win. They picked up a win finally on Thanksgiving because they've been struggling over the last, 8 turkey days. But Dak needs to start learning how to put together consecutively good performances. He's too uneven, bro. Thoughts?
I mean, we're always going to disagree on Dak, Brian. I think we are. I feel like the last 2 games he played great. I think the second interception he threw again was on CeeDee Lamb. I feel like this season CeeDee has hung him out to dry a couple times. He's the quarterback, so he gets in trouble for the interceptions, but they really don't be on him. I love the way the team played. I saw in the middle of the second half that they were just going to blitz the Giants. The Giants were definitely, again, great coaching, playing over their heads. But the Cowboys were crossing the 50 the whole time. If it was the 2 interceptions that made them not score in the first half. So even though they weren't winning, it was like 13-7. I knew the Cowboys had that game lock, stock, and barrel because they were just moving the ball up and down on those Giants. And, I mean, they're not going to play perfect games. I think they play well as a team. The defense leans on the offense and vice versa. I think you guys have a very, very potent offense. It's a passing offense, so there's going to be some interceptions thrown.
We don't need those. We don't need them.
Talk to CD. He needs to get better.
CD wasn't the reason why he threw the first one.
But you got to give your quarterback something. Like, quarterbacks ain't gonna be perfect, but if I can't count on you as a receiver, I feel like a lot of Dak's interceptions this year have been on CD, not running the right route, giving up on routes, stopping short. Like,
now I understand. I'm not disagreeing what you're saying about.
And he's not a number one.
I'm
watching Omari Cooper play for the Browns, balling the fuck out. If he had a true number one balling out,
Cooper's not a number one.
Cooper's a true number one.
He was here for 3 years, and every time he had a road game, he disappeared. So we cannot say hindsight 2020 what he's doing in Cleveland when he's getting no attention. Nobody cares about the Browns. You're with Dallas?
Yeah, but he's still a number one receiver getting double coverage. If he's getting double coverage in Dallas and he frees up CD and you have Dalton Schultz, now you have a much more potent.
No, I agree with you, but what I'm saying is that he can look like a stud now in Cleveland because he's in Cleveland.
He will look like a stud in Dallas.
In home games. You play 16 games before they went 17. There was a game. You realize there was a few games where he checked himself out of games.
Yeah. Well, he's good for that. He did that when you're on the
All right,
Raiders.
then. So that's not a real number one for me.
Nah, I'm on the field when he's playing. I think he can still do things that CeeDee Lamb hasn't learned. And if you guys had both of them, I think you'd have a better passing attack. But you guys have a really complete team. Like,
no, it ain't complete yet.
You guys are a little spoiled.
It ain't complete yet.
In my opinion.
It ain't complete yet.
You have a Super Bowl winning defense. You have a top 5 offense. And for the past 3 weeks, Dak has been playing like a top 5 quarterback.
No, he has not.
I think Pro Football Focus would say otherwise.
Pro Football Focus don't know nothing because I love
8-3.
I love, yeah. And Dak has only played a handful of those games. Cooper Rush got us to where we at. Shouts to Cooper Rush. Shouts to Cooper Rush.
Listen, you guys.
If it wasn't for Cooper Rush,
another 3.
you
have one hard game left on your schedule. You guys.
Yeah, and we probably will. We'll probably win that game and lose to the bums because Dak is good for that. He's good for that.
We'll see, man.
And what we need is
you should be happy with your team.
I'm very happy with the team once we get Odell. Once we get Odell,
that's what I need.
We'll be fine.
I think that's the key. That's the key to the playoff success.
No. That's the key to Dak. Because if you have another guy like Odell out there, he may not throw a stupid ass pass. That's the thing with Dak. You're gonna be guaranteed that he's gonna throw at least 5 passes that are stupid, that will cost you a game.
I think you guys are strong enough to overcome that.
Okay, all right.
You have 2 running backs, Thunder and Lightning. I love the way they've been using the both of them. 15 touches each. Tony Pollard gets to go off, and Zeke still gets to do his work. Yeah, I mean, listen, the defense has come alive. Your middle linebacker core is crazy. Michael Parsons is going ham. Diggs is going ham. Like, you got be happy.
Yeah, we'll
be happy.
We'll talk about your Patriots after this.
Yo, it's your man DJ G Money from that Flip the Script podcast. You see it? We in the studio right now. Flip, shut up. Yeah. Oh, listen. Shout out to the All Even podcast. My man Barry Grant Jr. What's up, man? What happened? What you want to say to the people?
Shout out somebody else's podcast?
Yeah, my nigga to join. What's up?
All Even.
All Even podcast.
Yo, it ain't even up here, boy. We put this go something. All Even. Yo, you. Oh my God. What's up with you, man? Now you go. That's the shot. You keeping this?
Yeah, keep all that. You want to jump
All
in the
Even
camera?
podcast, right?
Yeah, All
Shout out
Even.
to All Even podcast, right? All Even. That's your man.
My man.
All right. Shout out to All Even podcast.
100%. He cool. Is he cool? Let me see. Is he cool?
G. What is it, G?
Oh.
I said about G. Oh.
He cool, man.
Welcome back, y'all. So, the last turkey game between the Vikings and the Pats. Vikings win that game. What was it
33 to hold on.
33-26?
I'd have to double check, but I think
it's 33-26.
That was a fun. Again, they held us down.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that to be a high scoring of a game,
right?
Especially with Mac Jones only putting up 3 points the week before.
Right.
It was damn near a shootout. They were going 33-26. They were going back and forth.
Yeah.
For a little while. So
yeah,
Justin Jefferson went off.
Kirk Cousins threw some dimes. To Justin Jefferson in the second half of that game. And that's the thing with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has been extremely valuable for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
You know, he's not somebody who's going to win you a lot of playoff games. We know this. But for a team like Minnesota, that their expectations are where they are, he's exactly what they need.
Yeah.
He's had a very good season, man.
Yeah. He has a coach who believes in him. His last coach didn't like him.
Exactly.
And that showed.
But you know, the Vikings, I think they're a bit of pretenders. They have a great offense, I think, but that defense is not that great.
Not that great. The offense gets stuck in the mud sometimes.
They do. You know, Justin Jefferson is having a phenomenal season. We know that. But then the biggest story for me is on the other side of the field is the New England Patriots. You know, Mac Jones throws for over 400 yards.
Best game of his career.
Yeah, this is his best throwing performance of his career.
I thought it was at 389.
I mean, you can pretty much call it 400. Let's see. Yeah, 382, 2 touchdowns. At a QBR of 56.
And it wasn't no garbage time either.
No, you know, it was a competitive game. So, you know, 3 you pretty much call that 400 yards.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So, Ramondre Stevenson, you know, really good factor back, but they need more offensively. They need more offensively, man. Yeah, I like Myers, the wide receiver.
I like Aguilar's a third because
Yeah.
he made a beautiful touchdown catch, but he gets separation and just can't catch and loses the ball in the lights. He's a good third because he's going to always get open.
Right.
But he's not somebody he should be like your number one. Devontae Parker, I mean, I guess he has such high hopes for this guy. I wouldn't mind if they got rid of him. I know he's made some plays, but he's too big and too fast to not be a true number one, and he isn't for them. So you can get rid of him. Now I love Ramondre Stevenson. I'd keep Hunter Henry, but you need some real weapons, man.
The catch that was no catch.
That was messed up because when Travis and Kelce does that, they're giving it to him.
They desed him, bro. I saw that play. I had PTSD. I ain't gonna hold you. I was just like, that's what it did to Des, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? So as a Patriots fan, they spent all that money in free agency a few seasons ago.
Yeah.
Where do they go now? They still need some skill positions on that team, one. But if you had to choose one, would you upgrade the skill positions or would you upgrade the coaching staff? We're not talking about Belichick. Belichick stays, but we're talking about upgrading the coordinators. Would you go skill positions or would you get better coordinators?
I'd go skill position because I don't feel like the coordinators are stuck out as being bad.
Okay.
They've had like 3 low scoring games, but they've actually gone back and forth with some people. The Bears game was horrible. I hated that game. That was a soul crusher for me to watch Justin Fields just run all over them.
Right.
But for the most part, I don't feel like Matt Patricia's really stuck out as being bad play calling. I don't feel like they have the guys.
Yeah.
Once you have the guys, even a bad play can turn into a good one. So
talent wins out, right?
Yeah, I think talent wins out in that situation. I'm happy Mac is finally really starting to accelerate and become that quarterback, even though I'm still a little shaky on him. But you can't judge him. Every other quarterback has that one big receiver, or at least that one guy that they can go to.
It's kind of like Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
like you can't really evaluate him. Yeah.
Yeah, even Daniel Jones, when him and Slayton are on the page, it's beautiful music. But Slayton, his knee is no bueno. He's gonna keep getting hurt, so he needs a guy. So yeah, but it's looking bright. It was a lot of doom and gloom for the Patriots fans this summer, but seeing that Bill can still just coach, like his defense is just phenomenal to watch. I think that it's gonna get them a while to get the offense. I don't expect them to make any noise this year. Hopefully they make the playoffs, but I really see them going 10-7, and it's them not controlling their destiny. The only way they make it if somebody loses out. But it's not like we have nothing, so we just got to roll what we got and see if they can keep building next year.
Now at 6-5, obviously you guys are not going to be bad enough to get a high pick. But my question for you is, as I said, as a resident Patriots fan here, do you trust Belichick to draft?
No,
because he can draft. He can find the defensive talent. He can't find offensive talent.
I think we need a GM,
right?
A real GM,
yeah,
a guy who's gonna pick the groceries for him.
Absolutely,
and then he work with that.
Right.
It's just been too many years of. Don't get me wrong. He always finds like the gem in the rough, but as far as winning Super Bowls, I don't feel like he's picked a difference maker in years.
Offensively, I agree with you.
Offensively, hasn't picked a difference maker in years.
Yeah.
And it's okay to give it up, man. Like, you're great at a lot of things. Let other people be great at their job.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree, man. I think you're 100% right in regards to just, him giving up a little power, getting a GM, letting that guy, even if he can say, listen, you come in here, you pick the offensive groceries, I still got the defense, and we'll work that way. You know what I'm saying? But they have to get some skill positions in here. These drafts the last few seasons have really blossomed, and you've seen some great offensive talent come out. And for the Patriots to not get any of them, it's like, obviously they got Ramondre. Yes, he's a talent, but they got to get some guys to be able to catch football.
Exactly.
Man. You got to get some guys that can be able to, like some playmakers, run routes.
Yeah.
You don't need the speedsters, but you need guys that can be able to play that position, professionally.
And guys you could throw 50-50 balls to. I know that's not his game, but I mean, the NFL is changing. Get yourself a big body.
Yeah.
I feel like he could have did so much with DK Metcalf.
Oh, a lot of teams.
Yeah. But like, I think DK Metcalf's career would be completely different as a Patriot because I have my trepidations with him. He's like has the number one body, number one skill set, but he's not
as physical as you expect him to be.
Exactly. And I feel like Belichick could scheme him up in a way.
No, I agree.
To keep consistent.
Like I've seen a lot of games where he's been taken out of games physically. You know what I mean? And that should never happen.
That should never happen
with a guy
bro.
like him. You know what I mean?
He has the Calvin Johnson build.
Yeah, and
Like,
faster.
So
I agree with you. I'm curious to see what direction the Patriots go in the offseason. But they definitely need some help ASAP.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mac Jones needs some help ASAP. Because it's not, like you said, we can't really truly evaluate the kid unless you put some real weapons around him and say that he's the problem of why they're not maturing and moving, moving forward and progressing. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely with you on that. Plus, I'm a big Belichick fan.
Yeah, the Rams before Stafford, they were able to see, hey, golf, we have weapons, we have a team. It's clearly you.
It's clearly you, right?
And then they get a guy, and then look what happens.
Super Bowl. Yeah. I agree. Moving on. Our boy Aaron Rodgers.
Love him as a quarterback, starting not to like him as a person.
Correct. He's had a very, very tumultuous season. And the biggest news that just came out now is that he's been dealing with a broken thumb the entire year. So, based on what we've seen this year from the Packers, from his play, does it illuminate anything for you? Does it kind of make you feel a little bad for him, or is it just one of those things where it's just the collection of bad press that's happened this year? Is it just like it's exhausting at this point?
It's easier to feel bad for you when you're not pointing the finger at your teammates,
right?
Like you're not playing bad.
Yeah.
So now we understand why you were playing bad, but that doesn't excuse everything else.
When you calling your teammates out, yeah.
Calling them out, and then turning around playing like garbage and then saying it's everybody else but me.
Right.
Like we could take those with a grain of salt and be like, oh, okay, his thumb was hurt, now it makes sense. But with everything that's happened in these past weeks, like I don't even want to really hear that from you. You've made yourself so infallible that shouldn't even really be an excuse, even though it is.
It is.
Like the way things have played out, like I don't want to hear that from Aaron Rodgers.
No, I agree.
Like had the team come out and said something, like I'd been fine with it, maybe. But even with everything that happened these past few weeks, like no, dude, like you put your big boy pants on and go out there because you can't put it on everybody else,
right?
And then now it's like, oh my, thumb hurt.
because at this point, what he should have did was he should have kept his mouth shut, and then after the season, if it comes out that he had a broken thumb, then he had a broken thumb.
Yeah.
But for you to try to possibly get sympathy points at this point, nobody's feeling sorry for you. Like somebody else can be a sympathetic figure. Aaron Rodgers can never be a sympathetic figure at any point. You understand what I'm
Especially
saying?
when you try to be the smartest guy in the room all the time, when things like this happen, they have to fall on you.
Exactly. So, it's tough. I'm sure it's extremely tough to throw a football with a broken thumb. You know what I mean? Shouts to him. But at the end of the day, this is the situation. You are the quarterback. You take the bullets. You take the blame when the team loses, and you get the praise when the team wins.
Yeah.
So, if this is the reason why you guys have been struggling, it's gonna fall on your hands regardless.
If you're not, sense, but it's on you.
Right. If you're not on the IR, that means that you're healthy enough to play, and there's no excuses. You feel what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, sorry, but not sorry. You feel what I'm saying? Like, but I mean, does this give you?
It does, because there was some throws that were missed, games. I mean,
it makes sense.
The guys going season after season throwing 4 interceptions. And he already has 7.
Right.
So, it does make sense. It's not an excuse. It's a reason.
Right.
It's just that you've been so demonstrative in the way you talk to the media, the way you talk to the press, the way you talk to your teammates. We're not trying to hear that from you. So, in another world, I would be able to give him that or give him that sympathy, but not this season. Not after everything you've put us all through.
Nah, I'm with you. I think the one question that it answers in my head is that he's not done. He's not done. There's something that's hindering his performance. That may be even a better reason for him to get out of Green Bay. But so we'll see what happens next season. His bounce back year.
Yeah.
But it's like I said, shouts to him for actually playing through a broken thumb. I'm sure it's tough, but
yeah.
Hold on. I got one for him. Right. I got one for him. I got one for him.
Who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck?
That's just basically that's basically where we are at this point, right? So moving on. Did you hear this whole Deion Sanders situation?
Yeah, man. I mean, they're always gonna give my guy a hard time to climb to the top. But I think it's crazy when they literally try to use your success against you.
Yes. So, you know, for those that don't know, Deion Sanders had an academy that, you know, there was some bad business dealings and, you know, some things happened and they had to close it and there was some lawsuits and, you know, not really his doing, but when you're the face of things, you're going to fall on the sword, right? So, you know, he gets to Jackson State. He's at this HSBCU, and he's doing a great thing. He's building up this black program, and you know, really putting eyes on these black colleges, and it's great. But this is a guy that needs to be a Division I coach.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, there's no reason why every school in the nation that doesn't have Nick Saban, that doesn't have
Dabo,
Dabo, or you know, all these other big coaches should not be calling Primetime at this point and saying, "What do you want and how fast can you be here?" You feel what I'm saying? But there was an article that came out, and I wanna find it because I want to bash this dude for putting out the article. I'm trying to find it. Deion Sanders, USF, Colorado. I can't spell Colorado. Okay, trying to see. Okay, so Colorado has offered Jackson State head coach Deion Sanders. Right. So Deion Sanders reportedly in talks with Colorado and South Florida about head coaching jobs. So basically, in a nutshell, this reporter wrote an article bringing up all of these negative things about Deion Sanders that can hinder his chances of getting a D1 job. And I'm just like,
yeah, cherry picking.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Lane Kiffin, you got all these other coaches that have left programs in rubble and still get another D1 job.
Yep.
They're not going to high school. They're not going down to 1A. They're not going to HSBCUs, and they're not going to none of those, right? They're going to D1 schools after having violations and a whole bunch of bullshit. But Primetime, just because he has some situation, the academy folded, it's a problem. That you see what I'm saying? Like, this is why, for me, when people like to shy away from the race card, I go head on into it. Because nobody ever has anything bad to say about Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
He's a good person.
Good person.
Motivator. You know what I mean? Like knowledge, his IQ of the game is second to none. And you're still going to have people throwing slings and arrows at him for what? We all know why.
He's cocky within bounds. He's never too much.
Correct.
It's always brash and flashy, but he never goes over the top.
That's just who he is.
That's just who he is.
You know what I mean?
And like, they just feel like they just look for reasons to put hurdles. But like, I'm gonna be honest, a guy like Deion, he's gonna land on his feet, man.
He's gonna be fine.
He's gonna be fine, man.
Like, whether he gets the D1 job or he stays at Jackson State, he's good.
And college is all about recruiting. So at the end of the day, y'all shooting yourselves in the foot. Right. Whoever does pick him up, it's going to be a powerhouse. In 2 or 3 years.
Exactly.
Easy.
Exactly.
So
you just better stay out of USC way. Don't come anywhere near my school because I don't want that smoke.
I definitely want to see Deion on the D1 stage, and with a chance.
I want to see him on the NFL stage. That's what I want to see.
Is that something he wants though?
No,
I think he wants to work with college.
Yeah. He doesn't want to work with pros because at the end of the day, with pros, you're dealing with like massive egos, right? And it's a completely different situation.
Yeah, I think he's super into the kids.
And be able to inspire them and you know what I mean. Like I agree. So hopefully you know, he gets one of these 2 jobs. If not, he can stay at Jackson State and continue to dominate and wait until something else comes up.
Yeah.
So, but he's definitely going to get.
But he does need to move from Jackson State because I don't think they have the budget to do everything Deion needs to be able to do.
Well, I mean,
they're too big a character.
They're doing good so far. But I understand what you're saying. Did you hear the other news? Do you know who's possibly getting a D1 job?
Oh, Matt Rule?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Come on.
Like we said this. We said this, didn't we?
Come on.
Matt Rule gets fired, and we were like, yeah, he's gonna get a college job soon.
A good one.
A good one. And lo and behold, Nebraska comes calling.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So he can be able to walk back into college scot-free, but they looking at primetime like
collecting the $70 million.
Yes, still collecting from NFL team. Yes. Make it make sense.
Round and round.
Make it make sense.
Round and round we go.
Yeah, yeah. Moving on. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna get on my high horse right now. I was talking to the silent assassin off camera, and I hate our society. And I don't use the word hate a lot, but I hate it. Okay. I come from a time, we come from a time,
different times,
where we remember how things were. Listen, you know, our commercials were better back then. They had jingles for every fucking thing. Like, I mean, our commercials was hot. Sitcoms was hot. You know, things just meant, like, we had characters back then. We had personalities in our athletes. We had personalities on camera. Our movies were a little bit more dynamic.
Depth. They had depth.
They're more depth, right? And there wasn't something called cancel culture.
Yeah.
Right? I bring this up because going back to, you know, we're sticking on the football topic. Some dude found a picture of Jerry Jones. We're talking about 65, 66 plus years ago of him in Arkansas, you know, behind the lines when they were trying to integrate the schools, obviously on the opposition, right? Now, at that point, Jerry Jones is 14 or 15 years old.
Young kid.
Now, 6, how can anybody look at an 80-year-old man and look at that picture and try to cancel him?
Yeah.
Now, Grant, listen, if he was there, if they caught a picture of him at a lynching.
I mean, it was a pretty innocent picture. I mean,
right.
For the time. His part in the picture was innocent. Let me say that. It was an innocent picture.
But for the times, it's a bad. Yes.
That's kind of what was going on. Absolutely. Then. The guy went to the school.
Right.
You see a big commotion, a big thing. 14 years old, you're going to run over and see what was happening. It didn't look malicious. Didn't look like he was participating. I'm not necessarily trying to give the guy a pass, but, like, I can't get angry over kind of nothing.
Yes.
Like, it's the fact that he was there is the something, but that's all you have. So it's like,
that's what I'm saying. But it's like
what are we canceling?
Right.
Like,
why are people like this, bro? Like,
it's meme culture. It's meme culture, bro. It's things that are supposed to be kind of funny, that we're supposed to say in our little group chat that no one ever reads, where we get to actually be ignorant and not necessarily look at facts and feelings and everything because we're just joking one another. But then meme culture, you put on these squares and you send it out, and now it's like law and reality and fact.
When it's not.
When somebody makes the joke, oh, they better do him like they did Kanye and Kyrie, which is an actual joke in the comment section.
Right.
Somebody blows it up, puts it on the square, and now it's actually a thing.
Right.
That we gotta quasi-cancel this guy or for something that happened with sports. I see it happen with so many things.
Yeah.
That in my mind, it's like, oh, this is supposed to be a joke that stayed in the comment section. Right. But now we're really trying to act on this.
Because you know what happens at the end of the day, right? We live in a society that can't take a joke anymore.
Yeah.
We live in a society that comedy has been under siege for 20 years, right? So things are so hypersensitive because nobody finds things funny anymore. Or I'm not saying that this is funny. What I'm saying is that we live in a culture that microanalyzes everything.
Everything.
When it doesn't have to be like that. Like I was telling Nicole off camera, I said, you see this? This is the most dangerous thing to somebody that has nothing to do. Right? Somebody who is trying to make their career off of putting out something like this. Right? To try to better themselves, you're destroying somebody.
Yep.
That's horrible. And what made this even worse for me is that I'm a big Joy Reid fan. She works for MSNBC.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Shouts to Joy Reid, the readout on MSNBC. She posted this on her IG, and I was just, why? Like, why is this something that you have to now shed light on?
Exactly.
This is a 14-year-old white man in Arkansas at that time. You can never look at a 14-year-old and hold them to it 66 years later.
And then
if he
look at
didn't
everything
kill
he's done
anybody.
in the 66
And look at the
years.
things that he's done. Look at the people that he's had contact with. Look at the people who've had nothing but really good things to say about Jerry Jones that look like me and you.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, not everybody's going to have everything nice to say about you, but that you can say that about anybody, right? But Jerry Jones has done really good things, and he's, you know, had really good relationships with a lot of people.
A lot of past players.
Right.
I feel very highly, they feel like he's a friend.
Yes.
And mind
Father
you,
figure.
yeah, you can make the argument that, oh, he owns the league, he has to pay them.
Right.
There's a salary cap, it doesn't matter. The fact that we have a relationship afterwards does matter.
It does matter.
Because you could just pay me and not go on my
how
way.
he takes care of Cowboy players after they retire.
He don't got to do that.
He does have to do that.
So, I mean, it's not a good look visually, but I think this is a reach.
And the
by
fact
our
that he
society.
came out and addressed it,
never
and
tried
was
to hide
honest
from
about it, you know what I'm saying? Like that's all I need from him. He didn't try to deny it. He didn't try to make, you know, try to pretty it up or dance around it. He said, listen, I was 14 years old. It wasn't a position for myself of opposition. It was more of intrigue.
Yeah.
Like seeing what was
going
going
on.
on. You know what I'm saying?
14.
He's 14 years old, dude. Like,
see a crowd drawing, you're gonna run
like,
over there.
listen, I'm looking in the camera. Y'all gotta stop.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta stop. Everybody has things that they've done when they were 15, 14, getting into high school. You just learning about yourself. We make mistakes. If somebody pulls that up 60 years later, you're going to look at them like, what are you,
Yeah.
what are you, stupid?
I think one of the things that I first started circulating was like, oh, yeah, see, this is why he's never hired a black coach. And I was just like, let's not conflate.
Like,
the
come
two.
on,
Let's
man. It's
not
just, it's
do
too
that.
much,
Like,
bro.
yeah.
Like, everybody's smart nowadays. And what I'm starting to realize is that we got some stupid people out
Yeah,
there,
a
bro.
lot.
We got some stupid people that are in high places. And that's the problem. That's the problem. We have too much influence and too many idiots behind that influence. But after the break, we're going to talk about a topic that's made me laugh. Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Always makes me laugh.
The mother slayer.
Yeah. After the break.
Yo, this is Cigar Gents and Gals. I want to give a shout out to my boy Barry for Leaving Podcast. Keep doing your thing, bro. Killing it.
Welcome back, y'all. I'm over here laughing before I even get into the topic. I love this. I'm not gonna lie to you. The Jets decide to bench Zach Wilson. You know, he's 5-2 as a starter, and that doesn't happen much when you're 5-2 as a starter to get benched. But at this point, I think it was their only option.
After the press conference, that was definitely their only option.
Yeah.
You're not starting next week after saying that. You can't score 3 points. Your defense have 10 punts.
And then say no that the offense didn't let the defense down.
What? Bro, have you watched any other professional quarterback your entire life?
I don't think he has. That's the problem. I think, you see, the thing is with Zach Wilson comes from privilege. Zach Wilson didn't have to struggle and work his way up in certain situations. he was given things very easily. Went to BYU, clean school. They don't have a great conference, right? They don't play a lot of good teams year in and year out. So what happens is that he can be able to do all the wild, tough throws and look good and be brash and arrogant because he doesn't play heavy competition.
Exactly.
But however, when Coastal Carolina and those teams do come, he loses and struggles. I remember before he got drafted where the Jets were lasered in on drafting this kid, and I never understood it.
They were not budgeting.
Yeah, I was like, you have all of these quarterbacks out here, and you're lasered in on this kid? And I remember speaking to a lot of Jets fans, and shouts to Claw. I said to Claw, I said, listen, if they're going to go the Zach Wilson route, I think they need to package that pick, and they need to go get themselves a veteran quarterback.
Yeah.
Go get themselves because if you're going to stake your franchise on that kid, you're going to fail.
I just didn't see what they
I didn't
saw.
see it.
Like,
I didn't see it.
I understood why Mac was going high. I understood
Right.
why, even
Justin
though he didn't
Fields,
play a lot,
Trey
Justin
Lance.
Fields, they were made noise in college and
Right.
looked great doing it.
Yes.
I understand why they, but like I really never got. Now I'm not even saying that he can't be good or couldn't be good, but there's always a point in the draft where teams are even looking.
Yeah.
And like they never got off the number 2.
Never got off it.
So it was just really
Like
strange to me.
he had that one pro day, made that one throw at pro day, and they were just like, see, this is why we're like, no, dude.
And then and then like who's doing these evaluations? Like how can you swing and miss so badly? Because it's one thing to draft him in the second round, but then there was no competition for him to be the starter. Yeah, just basically gifted him the job.
Yeah.
And there needs to be more competition because you give a guy like this the job. Hopefully he's a tough kid because I don't think they should bench him for the rest of the season.
I do.
He definitely needs to be. You still want to grow the kid. I mean, just Flacco behind him, bro.
I keep it real with you. I keep it 100 with you. 6. You know, he later apologized, right, and said that he was wrong. Granted, that's cool. Damage is done. I think he's lost the locker room.
Yep.
I think he lost the locker room a long time ago, and this was just the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
So for me, you can't go back to him this year because they don't want him back this year. Next year is a completely different situation. If he shows up to camp and he's mature, he can be able to earn that respect and that trust again, that's fine. This year, he's done. There's no reason for him to ever get into that game again unless there's injury or unless they look. But my thing is that they can't look any worse. They can't look any worse with any other quarterback they have, whether it's Mike White, whether it's Joe Flacco. They're not going to look any worse.
Yeah.
If Mike White was playing that game against the Pats, they beat the Pats. If Joe Flacco was playing that game against the Pats, they beat the Pats. So he needs to sit. If he sits and gets better, cool. If he doesn't, the Jets need to learn from the Cleveland Browns and cut bait early before you can't.
That's why I wanted to play him the rest of the year. That way you know,
I think they know
without a shadow
now.
of doubt that you can cut bait.
I
with
think
him.
you know now. He makes mistakes.
They're bad interceptions too.
Bad.
They're bad interceptions too.
He can't. He does not recognize defenses well. That's 1. 2, he cannot locate open receivers. It's 2. And 3, he does not go through his progressions well
At all.
He stares receivers down.
And that's why I hated the pushback against Elijah Moore. I feel like he handled that situation as best as he could.
Right.
But you still had Jets fans, oh, you were winning, you should just shut up and not complain. Oh, get this guy off the team.
Well, maybe now it was deeper. Maybe he was like, listen,
he was telling you the whole time.
If I got to play with this dude,
yeah, he was telling
I need
you
the
the
ball.
whole time.
Yeah.
And it's like, when are we going to start listening to these athletes? Like, why can't we question the quarterback at all? There's ways to do it.
Yes.
He's the most important guy on the team.
Correct.
But the way he did it, I felt was pretty valid. So, like, why are we not allowed to say, hey, man, this guy isn't doing his job and he needs to step up so that I can do my job? Like I think that it's messed up that we were ready to crucify Elijah Moore, bench him, take him off the team to stand in third, and 3 weeks later we see what Zach is really doing out here.
You want me to have a hot take right now?
Yeah.
Hold on, you ready? I think what we're seeing in New York is what the Washington, whatever team you want to call them, what they were before. I don't want to use the name.
Should have kept football team.
Yeah. But what Washington dealt with RG3 and Kirk Cousins. I think, and I've been telling people this from day one, Mike White is a better quarterback than Zach Wilson.
We'll see. Because I love the way he looked in the Bengals game.
Yeah, Mike White can play. He won a game last year, played 3 games. You know, obviously he made his mistakes as well, but that's a guy that can make NFL throws.
And he looks poised.
Wilson
looks skittish in the pocket.
Correct.
He's ready
small. You know, when you're small, brash, and arrogant, I said it on Twitter probably a week ago. I said that he's as bad as Sam Darnold, and he has the same attitude as Baker Mayfield. Okay. That's a horrible combination to have. Horrible.
Yeah.
So for me, they need to go to Mike White. They need to not look back, and it's about winning games at this point. Robert Saleh is in the business of winning football games.
Yeah.
He's not in the business of babysitting quarterbacks. Because at the end of the day, if Robert Saleh doesn't win 10 games this year and they end up struggling next year, guess what's going to happen to Robert Saleh?
They should have won that Patriots game. Bro.
Yeah, of course.
They had no business.
And that's why we are where we are now. There's a ton of frustration. I've heard some backlash about Robert Saleh. Oh, he's too emotional. You know, you can't make that emotional type of decision. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I don't know.
After hearing your quarterback do that,
and it wasn't even a thought. He was like, nah.
Just arrogant.
I didn't mess up. I didn't go back to defense.
No,
I didn't.
There was no further explanation.
Yeah.
There was no. It was just no. That to me, when he did that, it looked just like an entitled child.
He could have been like, "Oh, it was a tough team. We moved the ball pretty well. You never want to not score, but I don't think I let them down because I did everything to keep them out of harm's way." Like you didn't give it like a nice. You were just like, "Nah, I did my job."
Yeah.
Did you?
So
I mean, he put that on himself.
Yeah. So I am very happy that they benched his ass. I think Mike White is worlds better than him. Can he get better? I mean, anybody can get better. Is he willing to get better? Yeah. Is he willing to take that next step and be mature and do the things that he needs to do to be able to, one, start learning the playbook better, understanding how to break down defenses and what they're giving you, and earn the respect of your teammates back. Because as a quarterback, they always tell you as a quarterback, when you're the quarterback of a team, you praise your teammates, and everything is your fault.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Eli Manning, for Nicole's precious Giants over there, Eli Manning did it the right way. When the Giants lost, Eli Manning stood at that podium and took the bullets. When they won,
he let the
other guys talk.
That's what you do.
He got it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He got it. He understood what was needed. That was a guy that was built to play in New York. And he knew it. That's why he didn't want to go to San Diego at the time. He said, you draft me in San Diego, I ain't going there. I want to go to New York. So, you know, this kid, Zach Wilson, needs to grow up a lot.
Hopefully the benching does that to him.
Yeah,
because we've seen Baker Mayfield grow up this season.
Grow up what?
I mean, that benching hurt. Yeah, but he's doing what he has to do. Baker Mayfield.
What is he doing? What he got to do?
Whatever
he sucks.
He does suck, but like you can see the arrogance is gone.
Yeah, what? Could you be arrogant at this point?
Some guys will still give it to you.
Yeah?
Bro. Some guys will still give it to you. So I could definitely see Baker Mayfield starting somewhere else.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I can't see how Baker Mayfield can ever continue to be arrogant when you get replaced by a dude.
PJ Walker, bro.
We're not even talking about that. You get replaced by a dude that's currently suspended and likes to get certain massages, right? So they'd rather take a risk on that dude.
Yeah.
Pay him guaranteed money than have you step through that field again, right?
Crazy.
Then you go to Carolina, and they're just like, yeah, we'd rather see the dude that we basically haven't seen in a while. XFL guy, we want him. And then we're going to wait till Sam comes back, and then we're going to play him too. Nuts.
But I think he gets his Marcus Mariota year. I could see Baker starting somewhere in 2 years.
You need to stop it.
Yeah, he's gonna get it. They recycle these trash bags all the time, man. Yeah. Just to see what happens. Dummy. Hey, it happens, man.
Don't you spread no bacon nonsense on my show. Okay, he's terrible, and he not gonna get no starting job no more. And if any team gives him a starting job, whoever that GM is, he needs to get fired.
We'll see.
He needs to get fired. Okay, moving on. We going. What do we got? Pick of the week?
Pick of the week already?
Yeah.
Are we gonna keep it football?
Yeah, pick of the week.
Yeah, I guess.
But before pick of the week, obviously, I need to get my read. Jimmy, you bet? Yes. That's a good answer. Nicole, what about you? You bet? You better bet. Right?
You already know, my bookie all day.
What about you?
On my bookie all day.
Yeah.
Checking them lines.
Okay,
out.
better check them lines.
Every commercial break.
So, sports betting is intense enough. You shouldn't need to sweat your payouts. MyBookie has a no-strings bonus that lets you cash in and cash out quick. Follow the link in the description of this video and use promo code EVEN on a deposit of $50 or more, and you can receive up to $200 in cash instantly to your MyBookie account. Using this bonus is simple. Bet your deposit amount once and you're ready to cash out. There's no strings attached with MyBookie. Hammer this bonus on MyBookie so you can focus on what's important Thanksgiving week. Family, food, securing that money bag, as well as Black Friday. Y'all go out there and go shop. Get your TV half price if you want that $1,000 TV. Maybe you get it for $300. Who knows? I know I'm gonna be getting my game chair for about $50 in a couple hours. You know what I mean? Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie. So, pick of the week.
Pick of the week.
Who you got, Jeff?
Can I do this? I don't know if I can look myself in the mirror and do this. I love my San Francisco 49ers. They're my Super Bowl pick to repeat going against the Chiefs. But I love my New Orleans Saints defense. These guys have been underrated a little too long. My man Cameron Jordan's still a beast.
The line is -9.5.
I know, but I feel like Andy Dalton has been throwing a couple of touchdowns. Taysom Hill could run some in. I think that defense is going to be stifling. I think the Niners win, but I'm taking the New Orleans points, bro. Cause it's not. They're not losing by no 10 points.
Okay, so you got 49ers money line and you got
New Orleans points.
New Orleans points.
Points 9.5.
Okay.
49ers money line is too much for me.
All right, I like that one. I like that one. I'm gonna go out on a limb again because I'm into the big home run bets. All right, I'm not into the ones that may be called safe. You know, this is not what I do here. Okay, it's not what I do here. I want you to put $50 and win $50,000. That's the type of person I am. All right, I live on the edge. Okay, so because of that, I'm taking the Jaguars-Ravens game. I'm taking that Jaguars-Ravens game. Listen, Lamar Jackson's a little banged up. They probably might get slipped. All right, they got Baltimore -3.5 on the road. I like the Jaguars to win this game.
Outright win?
Outright win money line. I'm not taking the points. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
I take the money line for the Jaguars. If you want to make some money, take that bet. Take it.
1 o'clock
and take
dogs. I'm with it.
With MyBookie.
I'm with it.
That was good. That was a good segment. I like that. Yeah, so that's what we doing. See? You like that bet?
Yeah, I do.
You bashed me last week, and you were right. You were right about that. I appreciate that. Yeah, you called me out on that, but that's all right. This one, solid. Okay, this is a solid one.
It.
Yeah. After the break, we got some NBA talk about. Some interesting topics.
Yeah, a couple of things going on in the league.
Yeah.
He has changed the game
whether you like it or not, he's changed it. He's impacted the game in some fashion or form.
I'm gonna find a bar mitzvah for you to go to, and you gonna turn that motherfucker out.
Yeah, all the gals watching.
Crack 'em if you got him.
All the gals watching. minus 6.
And I would like to formally welcome you to
Welcome
the grid.
to the grid.
To the grid.
Welcome to the grid.
And welcome to the grid.
Welcome to the grid.
Welcome back, y'all. Did you hear the new Superman versus Superman beef?
Yeah. I'm just happy Dwight's standing up for himself.
Yeah. So Shaq, if people don't know, Shaq is clowning Dwight. He's playing in Taiwan. He didn't get it. Yeah, going off. He's averaging like 40, 30, and 15 assists.
The glass
shooting threes. Looking like Giannis out there. He's wilding, right? So Shaq is like, yeah, when you out there playing guys that are 5'8", you can look like that, right? So Dwight claps back and says, listen, don't come at my teammates, and you know, you're always hating. And it's just like, is Shaq doing this just for entertainment purposes, or does he really have an issue with Dwight? Because at this point, it's like Dwight's no longer in the NBA. Shaq has had a Hall of Fame career. Dwight's gonna be in the Hall of Fame as well. You know, they're polar opposites in regards to how they played the game, but it's like
it feels a little bit more personal from Shaq.
Yeah,
he is an LA fan. A true fan,
right?
So the way Dwight played when he was in LA might have like just got.
Well, he used to needle him even before that, though.
Yeah,
when he was in Orlando,
from the Superman thing,
right.
Shaq never really liked him. Even
because think about it, they kind of followed the same path. Because Shaq started in Orlando,
yeah.
Dwight started in Orlando. Shaq moves to LA. Dwight gets traded to LA.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Shaq wins the championship with the Lakers. Dwight wins the championship in the Lakers. So their careers are very, very similar in regards to the paths that they took in regards to.
I think it's just the alpha athlete thing. When somebody's close to you or close to doing something you can do, you knock them down.
And I think Shaq looks at Dwight as like the Wario. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like, okay, you're this physical freak. You never really dominated the way you were supposed to. Like for Shaq, you know, Shaq is one of those fraternity type guys where it's like, yo, as a big man, you gotta hold us down. You know what I'm saying? You gotta. If I was dominant, I want to see a guy that comes along that can be able to carry the mantle just like I did and not let the center position die.
Yeah.
And I think Shaq looks at Dwight as one of the reasons.
The position is dying.
Why the center position has faded in the NBA. Why it's not a center dominant game anymore. That he will never come out and say that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he feels that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Shaq talks about everyone. So I love that analysis. I didn't think of it that way. I just thought he was being a hater.
Yeah,
but no, it definitely might be something deeper to it because he's been on Dwight for a long time. So
long time.
And I mean, what's even the problem? Like Dwight is killing in Taiwan. He should be. He got that NBA training. We kind of expect that.
Let him listen. That's what the fans want to see. If he out there dropping 50, 30, and 20, let him do that. He's having fun. Like, come on now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So we're not gonna spend too much time on that, but it was just pretty funny how Shaq is really dogging this man for playing out there with the with the Taiwanese.
Going, bro.
Yeah, you know what I mean, like exactly.
You got to bounce from team to team,
right? Maybe Shaq mad because by 38, Shaq was broken down. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't play no more. Moving on to Pat Bev being suspended 3 games. Now, the reason why I bring this up and the reason why this is news to me is, do you feel that the 3-game suspension is warranted?
Because he has a history. It's supposed to be one game.
But this ain't the FBI, bro. Like, see, the thing is, this is what made me mad, right? Since when is the NBA the FBI? Since when do they pile up a case on you and then bring the hammer down? Right?
Nah, for some people you got to.
But think about it. When he pushed Chris Paul in the playoff game,
that's in the back, right?
Yeah, in the back. They gave him 1 game for that.
Yeah.
You should have gave him multiple games for that, right? Because that was an offense that you could have hurt Chris Paul. You could have really did damage, and B, it's a dirty hit, right? That is not the same as this one. They're 2 different situations. Pat Bev has a history of playing rough, and people call him dirty. I'm not gonna debate that. You know what I'm saying? I used to call him the resident cheerleader. He's on my team now. He's a resident cheerleader for us now, right? But this situation is not the same.
Yeah.
Right? We saw why he did this. This was not him getting salty that Chris Paul is busting his ass. This was more of he's defending his teammate. Yeah. Where Devin Booker takes a shot at Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves is on the floor. Devin Booker is standing over him. And then all of a sudden, DeAndre Ayton is standing over him with a basketball.
Yeah.
So now Patrick Bev is looking at the refs like, okay, y'all are not going to step in and do anything. I'm going to step in and do this. Because that's where he's from.
You got the bigger man, too. He went after Ayton. So
you know what I mean? And laid his ass out, too. Ayton was on the floor like a little chump. 7 foot tall on the floor. You get laid out by somebody who's 5'11". Come on now. Right? But my thing is that the NBA piling up this RICO case on him don't make sense. Like, give him the adequate amount of games for that.
Yeah, I thought it should be 1 game.
And there's no reason to give him 3 here. Give him 2. But 3?
Yeah.
So that was my only thing. I have no problem with suspending him. But the length and then their explanation was bullshit to me.
What was the explanation?
Exactly what you're saying, that it's the accumulation of his history. It's like, dude,
it has to be within the year though.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't give him. Yeah, it has to be with like if I did it 2 or 3 times this year, then you can suspend me more.
We talking about last season.
You can't say
we talking about 8 seasons. Every year that I do something that's what I'm saying. They piled up a RICO case on him. That's corny.
Yeah.
That don't make sense. What do you think about that? They piling up a RICO case on him, Nicole. I'm standing up for my Lakers, man. I don't care.
I think it's a visual thing too, though. I mean, so many stuff has gone in the NBA that they don't have laws and bylaws for. I think they're just flying by the seat, like they're flying at the seat of their pants, just like visually, because it doesn't look good though when you push somebody who's not looking at you. I get this was different because it was kind of like a fight, but they are tired of Pat Bev and his antics. So I mean, I don't know I don't know what you do with that. Personally, I feel like it should have been 1 game. We know what this is. This is basketball. This is a contact sport.
Right.
No one actually got hurt. But I think it's more reactionary that, it's on TV, primetime game.
And at the end of the day, too, I agree with you. I think that's what it was. Because if it wasn't on TV, I don't think they would have came down on him like that. Pause. Hey, yo, what the fuck? But what I will say is that LeBron, AD, Austin Reeves, although Austin Reeves, they got that type of money. Everybody should put a pool of money together. And they better give Pat Bev. If he has to pay back $250, you make sure you put $500,000 in his hand, because he stood up, took the bullets for the team. Yep. And y'all make sure y'all make that man whole. Make him whole. You know what I'm saying?
And that's how he stayed in the league. So
yeah, that's his role.
That's his role.
You know, he's not a scorer. He's not gonna wow you with stats. He's an enforcer. He's gonna change the culture in regards to he's going to put batteries in people's backs. That's what Pat Bev does.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So he has a role. Everybody has a role. He understands his role. That's why I can't really hate on him right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I salute him for standing up for his teammate. Everybody needs to stand up for somebody in their life like that. You know what I mean? So, you know, if somebody tries to bully my son in school, I give him the same Pat Bev shove in the back. I don't care if they 5 years old. I'll do it. I'll do it to a 5-year-old, Jimmy. I would. I would. Okay? So, moving on. You wanted to talk about KYRIE, obviously.
I just wanted to know how he was doing. I didn't get to watch the games. I know LeBron was coming back. I just want to know, you know, how the crowd were receiving him. Is he in his head? Is he actually scoring points? Did his game change?
He's not playing too bad, but he
has to knock the rust off. But it looks like he's going to be all
plus
right.
he got the black Jews all over the place now.
All over the place. They tried to get him with the Thanksgiving question. But he successfully dodged it.
But listen, I gotta give my man some credit. He has learned how to be diplomatic. You know what I'm saying? So shouts to Kyrie Irving for actually learning how to deal with the press.
Took a couple lessons.
Took a couple lessons. You know what I mean?
At least we're here now.
Had to go through some classes, but he's here now. He's here now. Yeah. So, yes, this is what I wanted to ask you. And see the smile on my face. Now, shameless plug. I've called the Los Angeles Clippers the basement dwellers.
The basement team.
Right? I've always said that they live in the basement with the space heaters and the dehumidifiers. This is where they belong, right? They don't belong on the top floor. They need permission to go upstairs. And I mean that. Until they move out of Crypto Arena, I will always say that about the Clippers. But that's not where I'm going here. Where I'm going with the Clippers is they are in the playoff chase right now. They have a very deep team. They have one of the deepest teams in the NBA. Well coached. Shouts to Ty Lue. He's one of the best coaches in the league. You know, they still have Jerry West as a consultant. So they're doing great things over there. However, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George have dealt with injuries since they've gotten here.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard is dealing with the ACL injury, and you know, we were talking off camera saying that, you know, it's degenerative at this point.
Yeah,
that he's having some bone on bone, and there's some real issues that he's having. We may not see Kawhi Leonard get back to where we're used to seeing him.
Yeah.
Paul George has dealt with some injuries since he's been a Clipper. He's had shoulder surgery. He has the ankle now. He's had little bangs and bruises, you know, since he's been here. And the question I want to ask you, should the Clippers pull the plug on this Kawhi Leonard and Paul George tandem?
Yeah,
should they press the reset button, or should they, you know?
I think it's time. They were supposed to take over LA, and it's not even shooting at them, but ever since they came out to say to take over LA, they really haven't gone too deep into the playoffs. They had the run in the bubble.
Yeah, they had the year that the Suns went to the finals. They went to the conference finals. They went to Game 7, but that Kawhi Leonard had got hurt. Paul George took them to the conference finals, and they haven't been back since.
And that's why I'd keep Paul, because his injuries are kind of all over his body. He's often injured, but it's not a chronic injury. It's not the same thing. And I think he still has a veteran presence. We still need a star for the team. I'm not going to say some necessarily built around Paul George, but he's a good key piece.
Yeah.
And I feel like we could still get a haul or really good pieces for Kawhi. So I think it's time to ship Kawhi out, even though he is the better player when healthy. But you can get more with him, and he's missed so many games that I'd rather take that gamble.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I'm with you. I think it is time for them to start exploring it. If they don't fully embrace the rebuild, I think they need to start fielding some calls.
Yeah,
and seeing what his market is. But obviously they're probably going to have to get his permission, because I think he might have a no trade.
He probably does, but I mean, with how things have gone since you've gotten to the team, hopefully you get it yourself. Like, you're a professional. Yeah, you get it. So hopefully he waives that clause. They can get him to a team that he feels he can still win and contend with, and they can get off him under that contract. Because, I mean, I'm not going to say what are you paying the guy for, because when he is on the field, when on the court, he is lights out. But he's just missed too many games over the past 2 years.
And I think at this point, you're not going to get those performances out of him consistently. For every 29-point game that he has, you're going to have 15 games where he's not going to come close to that.
And also how much of a great two-way player could he still be?
Exactly.
Because offensively, I can see his game. I think he'll still be an offensive force, but where he made his name was defensively, and how's he gonna manage both? So yeah, I think it'd be. I don't want to just ship Kawhi off because I think he's like a premier player. You just don't ship those guys off. But I think in the case of the Los Angeles Clippers, it might be the best thing for them.
Listen, if Kawhi Leonard knows what's good for him,
he's not going to LA. He's not going to the Lakers.
He calls his genie and says, "Listen, is it okay if I come upstairs? Is it okay if I, can I use the elevator instead of the stairs?" You know what I mean?
Clippers are like Harry Potter under the stairs.
Yeah, exactly.
In the little room.
Facts. They don't belong. Okay, you gotta make sure that the Lakers are not there for you to come upstairs. Okay, but yeah, I definitely agree. Though I think they really need to start looking at that, especially if they can't at least get 50 games or 55 games each out of both of them. If you can't get that, it's like, what are you doing? What are you paying for at this point?
Because like we're paying for you to win a championship, but if you can't do that, at least fill the arena during the season.
Right.
At least have the people have a show to come watch, and they know they can come see Kawhi.
Ain't no Clippers fans out there. The only Clippers fans I know is Billy Crystal. That's the only person I know that's a Clipper fan.
Marcellus Wiley.
Have you ever seen? We live in New York, right? Have you ever seen anybody? And I'm talking about anybody with a Clippers hat on?
Nah,
I've never seen it in my
I've seen
life.
A throwback jersey or two.
I've never seen it in my life. Somebody wearing a Clippers hat. Not even in LA when I was there, I saw it.
Nah.
There ain't no Clippers fans out there.
They're the basement team for real.
I'm telling you. Dehumidifiers and the space heaters. That's where they down in there. Next, I guess next topic we got your precious team. We're going baseball a little bit. Sure, Nicole's gonna have her talks about this. Aaron Judge watch. Aaron Judge posted that he was, Thanksgiving. He was with family out in California and may have some business to attend to out there. Report has come out that he met with the San Francisco Giants multiple times. They've had multiple conversations.
Yeah, see? I
so,
thought it was gonna happen.
You as a Yankee fan, what are your thoughts? Do you think that Aaron Judge is playing the string out in regards to leverage?
I think
or do you actually think that he's going to leave?
Well, both. I think he's playing the string out as far as leverage because New York did give him a low ball offer, so I definitely feel like he's going to try to push that up. But if another team comes with the right money and the right contract, I think he's out of here. He's 30 years old. New York does have trepidations about signing him to the over $400 million, which I guess they should.
Why?
Well, is he going to do this again?
This is the greatest walk year we've seen in sports. I don't care if he can't do this again. If Aaron Judge never hits 62 home runs again, right?
Yeah.
Never. And he only gives me 5 or 6 40 home run seasons. I'm good with that.
Good. All right.
You know what I'm saying? Like 60 home runs is an outlier.
But for 415?
Yeah.
All right. Well, there's no salary cap, so it's different.
Yeah, a 40 home run hitter that can hit 270, 280. Obviously, he's going to strike out a lot. But if he's a power hitter in the middle of that lineup, you need that. That's what you pay for. Plus, on top of that, you're not only paying for the production, you're paying for the leadership. They have a judge's chamber in the Bronx. This is going to be the next captain of the Yankees.
Yeah.
That's not something that people take for granted. You understand what I'm saying? You had Jeter.
Yeah.
You had what was the first baseman that had the back injury? What's his name, man? I can't remember. Yankee fans help me out after this. That captaincy doesn't get thrown around a lot with the Yankees. So if he becomes the captain, which I'm sure he will if he comes back,
if he comes back,
it's important for them to be able to give him what he wants. Like the Yankees have no leverage at this point. Zero. So for Hal and them, they just need to put the check and say,
yeah,
sorry that we lowballed you. Go write in something and please don't make it hurt too much. That's it.
Definitely. I mean, you're a little closer to the situation than me. For me, it's the age and versus the money versus are we gonna recoup that? But honestly, after the year that he had, I feel like he's earned it.
Because think about it, if they sign him for 8, 9, 10-year contract, right? And they get one World Series out of it, it's worth it.
Worth it.
It's worth it. You know what I'm saying? That's what they got out of A-Rod. They got one fabulous run in 2009, right? When he was on fire, they went through the playoffs. He had a great playoffs, and they won a World Series.
Yeah.
So that whole $275 million contract, it was worth it. You know what I mean? So that's how I'm looking at it, is that the Yankees have always been a team that spent.
Yep.
And they've done a good job of keeping their players, their lifelong players there.
Happy there.
You can't go down this road where you allow him to walk
after 62,
because the numbers. I think I was reading something today. Aaron Judge's numbers in the second half of the season was, I think he hit like 330, 340. His on-base percentage was like in the 5s. His slugging percentage was in the 7s. Right? And you know what the team's batting average was in the second half?
What?
It was like 225. Their on-base was lower than 30%, right? And their slugging was like 360. So think about that. The team struggled. He literally carried them through the second half of the season. Pay that man.
Yeah.
Pay him whatever the hell he wants. And if he wants a date with your daughter, you let him go on a date with your daughter too. Because he gonna make sure that she gets home safe. Because he's that type of person. You know what I'm saying? Give him what he wants. Don't try to lowball that man. Because guess what? If they do, Cohen will give him. And the Giants will too. Because the Giants said, they already came out and said there's not a check they won't write to go get Aaron Judge. So if you got a team that's dead serious on getting a guy like that, you're gonna have to overpay for him if you're the Yankees. And that's just the way it is. So yeah. Coming up after the break, the greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week.
Dummy, yeah.
Welcome back, y'all. So now we are at my favorite segment of the show. The greatest segment on the planet, Dummy of the Week.
Dummy, yeah.
I ask every week, go around the room, who do y'all think is the Dummy of the Week? Jimmy, the super intern, who you got? I ain't gonna lie to you, Jimmy. Listen, Elon Musk is the smartest dummy I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He really is. Like, you gonna buy something for $44 billion, and in a week or two, it's gonna be worth $6.
Wow.
It's gonna be worth $6. Come on, man. That's bad.
Yeah.
Nicole, who you got?
I'm gonna go with FIFA.
Oh, yeah. FIFA's pretty bad too. Dirty. Dirty like a hooker in church. Dirty, right? Just dirty. They've been bad for a while. You know, I've always said that besides, you know, if it wasn't for FIFA, international soccer, baseball would be the dirtiest sport on the face of the planet. But baseball is a distant second to all the crime and scandal that FIFA goes through.
Yeah, because baseball's on the field.
Facts. Facts. All the nonsense when FIFA comes off the field. And they be paying off judges. People be getting murdered. It's bad. It's a rabbit hole of nonsense. Who you got, Six?
Not sports related. I gotta go with Ye. He makes this big apology to the Jewish and black community, and then he's popping up with like neo-Nazis, and I don't know what's going on with this guy. I don't know what's going on with him. He's making presidential bids while telling people he's never read a book. Like, he's just all over the It's just, I know it's a sports show, but just for my 2 cents, I gotta give him one time for the one time. Gotta hit the button on Kanye West.
Dummy, yeah.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. That's a strong one. That you have me swaying right now. I ain't gonna hold you. I want to go in. Oh yeah, but I feel like go in too much on him.
Yeah,
I
know.
But I'm tired.
But
I feel you.
Yeah.
Like it instead of it getting better in regards to like him laying low, it's like the fire, it's getting worse. It's getting worse. You know, so that's a good one. Everybody, round of applause. Y'all have some good ones, but I got a good one. I'm not gonna lie to you. This one made me laugh so much that I had to replay the video maybe 9 times.
What? I gotta say,
I'm literally in tears. May I have the drum roll, please? And the winner for Dummy of the Week, Herschel Walker.
Oh my God.
Herschel Walker is my Dummy of the Week.
Dummy, yeah.
Now, I don't know if any of you have seen this video, but you need to watch it. Type in Herschel Walker talks about movies.
Yeah. Pre-CTE Herschel.
Herschel Walker was on his campaign. Now, if people don't know, if you've been living under a rock, Herschel Walker is running for senator in the state of Georgia. He's going against Reverend Raphael Warnock, who is the incumbent right now. And the way Georgia works is that you need to have 50% of the vote in the election. If you don't, it goes to a runoff where somebody has to win, right? So this is where they're at now. No candidate got over 50%, so now they're at the runoff. He had a rally where he's talking about a vampire movie. So he said, yeah, I watched the vampire movie, and you know, the vampire, he go ahead, he get bitten. So he's talking about all this nonsense, and he flips it and talks about how you have to have faith.
That was one of the weirdest flips. I'm like, okay, Herschel, bring it home, baby. Bring it home. And he flipped into that. And I was just like, oh,
the man went on a tirade for like 5 minutes talking about this movie.
And then with vampires, you know, you gotta get the garlic on your neck because they keep the garlic away, and you gotta have the spiky thing in your head. I'm like, oh,
yo, vampire, they cool people, man. Listen, I don't like to bang on my own people. I don't. But Herschel Walker may be the stupidest person walking the planet. I'm not kidding. Like, he's that dumb. He's one of those people that how do you want to say it?
Did you see the video when he was younger, when he was talking and interviewing?
No.
Like, he's clear CTE. Like, you can hear him. He wasn't slurring. Great vocabulary. Clearly has CTE.
Okay. So something happened to him.
Yeah.
Something happened to him.
His bell got rung a couple times.
Something happens to that man because I'm telling you, you have to see it. It's bad.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst video. It's like watching a car crash, but you can't look away. 9 times I watched it.
That shit is crazy, bro.
9 times I watched it in a row. 9 because I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
I thought it was a joke.
I was like, just bring it home, Herschel. What are you trying to say here? And
even the people that were in the crowd was just like,
yeah, you lost them.
Bro, where we going with this? Then he said, yeah, you got to have faith. You got to believe in God. What? You talk about vampires. Vampires don't believe in God. The devil. How you going to talk about vampires?
What do you say?
And then talk about God.
You got to stab the vampire, but the thing is the vampire survived. You know why? Because he didn't have faith. I was just like, what? Oh, man.
You know what? You know what? I changed my mind. I'll vote for Herschel Walker. I don't care. I need more entertainment out of Herschel Walker.
Sound bites from him?
Yo, dude, what has gone on with our country?
What is going on with politics?
It's
like reality TV. Sometimes
it's worse.
I feel like am I the only one who sees this?
It ain't reality TV, fam. It is wrestling. That's what it is. It has turned into WWE wrestling. A character like Herschel Walker would never survive.
Never.
If this was like 20, 30 years ago. Never.
We got rid of one guy for being too excited.
Facts.
And we're gonna go to Idaho. Then we're going to Delaware. Yeah, he was out of there the next day. And these are the people we let into politics now. Like, this is wild, son.
Oh man. So Herschel Walker, I'm just gonna say this in the camera. You ain't gonna win, bro. You're not even close. It's gonna be a landslide victory for Reverend Raphael Warnock. You're gonna be a loser. You're gonna go right back to Texas because you don't even live in Georgia. That's the funny part. You running for senator in Georgia, you don't live in Georgia. You live in Texas, right? But you're a winner for Dummy of the Week. That's all for this show. Six, I appreciate you coming through, man.
Of course, bro.
You know, this was a fun show. We talked about a lot of things, a lot of serious topics.
Yeah.
You know,
man, we gotta do that every once in a while.
Of course, man. Of course. You know, you gotta touch on the serious stuff and speak the facts. You know what I mean? Also, I definitely want to say that again. We gotta do better as a country. We have to do better in regards to this whole cancel culture nonsense. I don't call it cancel culture. I call it cancer culture. Where if we continue to go down this road, it's just going to spread. Yep. It's going to get worse. It's going to go to our children, and we don't want that type of disease to keep spreading. We need to be able to get that out, biopsy it, get it out of there, and fix it. So, you know, I don't know what we need to do to get to that point, but I think it starts with people need to put these down more. You know, take more time to just kind of decompress and enjoy life. Go to a restaurant and not take a fucking picture of your food. Go to a club or go on vacation and not take a billion pictures and just enjoy being on vacation. If you're with your friends, don't take a billion pictures while you're with your friends. Enjoy just being with your friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can you enjoy life if you're always taking pictures?
Through the camera lens. I stopped with concerts. I learned that a long time ago.
Right.
You go on to concerts, the whole thing I'm holding
right.
up the phone.
You're missing everything.
I'm missing everything.
So that's my PSA for this week. Jimmy the super intern, I appreciate you. Yeah, of course. Nicole on the ones and twos, the silent assassin. I call her the knee breaker. That's what I call her. You know, I'm sure she collected a lot of debt over the week. You know, I saw a new silver, you know, gold chain that she had on.
She gave out last week. She was definitely collecting.
Yeah. She collected some money. You know,
take the pics this week. She's definitely gonna be giving away money. So.
Facts. Until next week, stay safe, stay cool. Peace.
My son is the champ, so get over it.